Well, good morning. If you want to see how I built these two shaker-inspired work tables, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. But we're not going to get anything done if we just sit around here and gab, so let's get to work. Here's the problem. We built this television stand here to put my TV on, computer, all that business. Got all that storage, and we built this little table here. It's got storage behind that door. So this is all working out real good. The problem is I don't have a table in here, a work table. So I'm going to build a work table to fit in that space right there. The top will be oak plywood, and it'll have one inch oak trim all the way around it. Here's the stock. I cut it 45 inches long and 22 inches wide, and I'll be trimming it with this 1 inch oak trim. As you can see, this design has a lot going on underneath here. It's got these lateral braces, has the drawer, and the drawer slides and all the rest. So let me show you how I solved this puzzle. We're going to keep track of all these parts and all their alignments by using what's called a table jig. Let me show you how it's going to work. I went ahead and cut the stock up so that I can show you how this table jig works, and maybe you'll have a better understanding why I went to the trouble to even make it. So I lay this table jig down here. It's all square, it's all plumb. It's all marked to the center, the very center lines of the tabletop. Then my frame pieces go right into the jig like this. And I got side pieces going here, side frame pieces. Okay, then I got this jig here that goes in the center. This will be the jig for the drawer, and then these blocks go in here. Great. Of course, then my corner blocks will go in like that. Okay, for clarity, I've set the prototype up on the table here so you can see exactly what's going on. So this center jig here, it's made out of that exterior plywood, is filling the space that the drawer will be in. Okay, next thing we have to do is drill these pocket holes. Let's do that. I got the pocket holes all in. Everything's looking good. Next thing is to prepare these corner braces right here. I've got to put a hole directly through the center of the brace for the fastener bolt here for the hanger bolt, and I've got a recess countersink these screws that hold it in. This is a little jig I use to cut these diagonal countersinks. Now I can drill that hole very accurately and easily. What you just saw me doing is rounding over the edges of the frame here, give it a nice finish look. Now, you've probably been wondering how we're going to get the drawer through this front brace here. That's pretty simple. After we get the whole thing put together, nailed down solid, we'll just cut this section out of the brace right here. You can see it here on the piece. The whole thing is assembled as if there wasn't going to be a drawer, and then this is cut out right there. I'll make a cut there and a cut down to the other side. What I'm doing is I'm staining the whole thing in a color called golden oak. I feel like that's kind of appropriate since that's what this is. I'm not going to be using any glue or anything for assembly, so staining it and maybe even putting some polyurethane on it before I put it together is not only doable, but you do a better job. It's easier, looks better in the end. Now I can take the table jig off the top and work on the top. The legs are tapered on both the inside sides. There in the upper left is the stock for the legs. It's cut 2 1/4 square and a little over 30 inches long. And that in the southeast corner there is the tapering jig we're going to use to taper them with. Let's strap one of these in a jig and see if we can do some damage. You can buy a permanent adjustable tapering jig, or you can make one. But I just make me a new one every time I do this. Okay, let's run it through the saw. Here you can kind of see a little mock-up of how it works. This bigger board, this flat board on the bottom, just rides up against the fence and just goes straight through the saw. But since this is angled at whatever angle you want your taper to be, then the saw blade will cut straight through here and leave a taper on the piece. After that's been through there, Then you take this piece you cut off, right there. See that piece I cut off? Now I take that and place it under the leg. See what we've done there? There's our leg. It's tapered on these two sides, and we'd be putting our bolt in right here. I've taken this prototype leg off so you can see the next operation, which is to create a flat place on that inside corner. Remember, this side is tapered and this side is tapered. Those two sides are tapered, and the flat place is right there on that corner. So let me show you how I do that. The easiest and fastest way to put that flat place on there is with the large belt sander, but it doesn't have any dust collection, so I'm using the spindle sander. Another thing you'll notice on the prototype is that the edges are all rounded over as opposed to the original here. I'm going to do that on the router table. After they're rounded and sanded and everything, I'll hit them with some of this golden oak stain. Okay, let me do the other three legs and we'll be able to do some assembly. Well, there we have it. Got all the parts. There's the parts for the drawer. I can't put the drawer together till I get the exact measurements between the sliders. But the legs came out particularly nice. The tabletop's coming out fine. Let's secure for the day and let this stain dry, and we'll knock this thing out tomorrow morning. Good morning. Everything's dried out overnight, and I got in here early and put some polyurethane on everything too. So let me get the jig set up and we'll do some assembly. Okay, the jig is centered, and once I put the drawer jig in here, I'm not going to be able to reach these two pocket screws, so I'm going to put these two in first. Now I can put the drawer jig in. And now I can place the drawer walls in. Okay, everything checks out. Time to put the pocket screws in. Now I'm putting the last of the screws in. As soon as I get these screws here in, we'll take it out of the jig and see what it looks like. That'll be good, won't it? I'm taking it out of the jig. I'm filming it because sometimes 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 it can be a bear to get, after you put the screws in, it can be really hard to get the jig apart. Now this is sort of the reason I like to finish things, you know, with the stain and even polyurethane if I can, before I put it together, because it makes all the joints and everything clean and crisp. I installed one of the legs so I could walk you through the process of attaching the leg. It's attached with this bolt right here. The hole has to be drilled for the lag screw into this leg, and it has to be perfectly positioned with the corner brace, and it has to be across this diagonal here. This hypotenuse of this right triangle, it has to be right through there. So let me show you how I do that. Put this square in here, so now this thing is automatically cutting that diagonal. So let's see if it works. Okay, I got that hole drilled in there. I'm fussing over the fit of this drawer because it's got to be the right height in this opening so that the drawer front exactly matches the level of the frame here. So I think that's about got it right there. Well, there's our shaker inspired work table. 24 inches wide, 47 inches long. Got this nifty little drawer. It's even put a little pencil tray in here. The drawer's 16 inches deep. Well, I guess that'll do it for another Memphis Monday. think we got our money's worth today. Incidentally, my wife saw the prototype here. She liked it. She had me fix it up and gonna bring it into the house. But nice little work tables, one out of pine and one out of red oak. And we didn't use the hatchet at all. So like and favorite and comment and all that business. And I guess that's all. Nope, one more thing. Make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for watching.